All right, there's the bell. Looks like Russell here actually just cracked through overnight lows there a bit on this initial first push at the open. S&Ps are coming down towards their overnight opens or towards their overnight lows, and Nasdaq working its way to those 08s as well. Nice little reaction back so far in the Russell. Dow's right on that 26,788s here. Again, I want to wait for the S&Ps and or the Nasdaq to trade their support levels here. We may not quite get the support levels in the S&Ps here. Looks like Nasdaq should probably get those though. Opening print here, 2981.50s in the S&Ps. Nasdaq trading that support level right now actually. And again, no surprise if we push through it by a little bit. We've got some room to go in the S&Ps before we crack those 78, 75s as overnight lows in there. Nasdaq kind of pushing down there. So Nasdaq traded lows 06 quarters there. S&Ps did not get overnight lows just yet here. It would actually be great if we could establish a divergence play down here. We're going to need a little bit more time for that, obviously, but that would be okay with me. S&P's new overnight lows. Nasdaq traded lows of 0250 so far here. Thursday's lows in there, 97.50s here. So still got a little bit more room to go. Again, S&Ps did trade new lows there, not quite to 75, 75s just yet. One thing that's a little bit surprising this morning is the weakness that I'm seeing coming out of the Russell there. I didn't quite expect that much weakness out of the Russell off the gate there. Nasdaq new lows again, 78.0050s. S&P sitting right on lows. And those prior lows were 97.50s in the Nasdaq. $97.25. One tick difference between the daily and the hourly chart there. Again, I'll watch for a divergence down here, or like I said, a pushback through 26,788s in the Dow. And at this point, we can actually use back over 78.08 quarters in the Nasdaq. But first initial direction to the downside so far has been correct, pulling us into those support levels. Couldn't quite make it in the S&Ps, traded 77s on lows there. Nasdaq traded 98.75s on lows, and decent little reaction so far, about 8 points. Like I said this morning, I think this one takes a little bit of time to kind of develop here. So being patient, we'll watch this next push to the downside here. All right, keep an eye on the Nasdaq here coming down, about to get new lows there. 97 quarter, 97.50, not quite sure which. Were those prior lows in there? Just traded those. Nasdaq's the only market that got new lows there. So I'm going to try a small attempt at a long here. Keep it tight in the Nasdaq. This isn't quite the divergence trade I was necessarily looking for. But I do like that we kind of pierced through those lows, got through the 97 quarter, 97.50s, whatever that was. And Nasdaq was the only market to get new lows on that 5-minute bar. So I do like that. Like I said, picked up a small long position down there in Nasdaq. And at this point, I think the better divergence play is going to come with the S&Ps maybe. So we'll see if we can't get a retest here of 08 quarters in the Nasdaq. If not, we might just continue to slide off. But I'm going to give it this first test here. And that should be it. Like I said, not the divergence play I really wanted to see there, but it did get the new lows. So it did pick up a position there and am now out of that. Yeah, they shifted pretty quick there. Like I said, we got S&Ps coming into that 75 level there. So I'm not too concerned there. Like I said, it was not the divergence play I wanted to see. S&P's traded 76.50s there. Nasdaq needs back over 08s now. S&Ps and Russell put in new 5-minute lows. The Dow did not. Obviously Nasdaq did here as it's continuing to slide. S&P's traded 76 quarters here. This is kind of the area for the Dow where I was talking about this morning, somewhere between 750s and 760s, where if we could pause this morning while the S&Ps and the Nasdaq were getting a pullback to their support levels here, could actually end up being a nice little trade if we get back above 26,788s here. So that idea is actually coming through. We'll see if S&Ps want to trade these 75s here or not. New lows in the Nasdaq there. Looks like we're going to trade that 77.80 level. That was a pretty quick move. Russell new lows there. Dow still no new lows on this 5-minute bar. Nasdaq 2-tick front run of that level. Nasdaq weakest market on the board by far, down 0.87% there. 2 ticks in front of that 77.80 level so far. Again, this may actually, like I said, the divergence trade that we're looking for may actually end up setting up here. S&Ps are super close to that 75, 75s. Like I said, we're just going to need a little bit more action here. 941, we only have 3 5-minute bars. This 5-minute bar has not closed yet. And we've got the Dow trying to hold lows so far. But markets almost across the board, they're giving up all of what would be Friday's move at this point now. S&P is trading those 75, 75s. See if Nasdaq trades these 80s here. 80, 50s printed again there. I would expect this 5-minute bar to actually close green on the Nasdaq here. That would actually be better for the divergence. Up through 77.90s would be nice, I think. We can kind of establish that. Nice 5-minute green bar so far in the Russell there. S&P's traded 75, 75s to the tick. Nasdaq 2-tick front run of that 77.80 level. So what I think is going to happen here now, 9:43, I think we'll get this 5-minute green bar will close green here, somewhere probably 77.89, 77.90s or so would be my guess. And then from there, I think we'll trade up, kind of back up in towards 77.97s, maybe almost in the 7800s. Might have a problem around 94s there. And then from there, I think we'll kind of bat around for a bit. Come down right about 10 o'clock, 10:05, 10:10, somewhere around in that 10-minute range there. Make new lows, most likely here in the Nasdaq. Most likely not in the Dow or not in the Russell. And then we'll have established ourselves a nice little divergence play down there that if and when it does set up and or trigger, that we can jump in and take advantage of there. Being patient for the S&Ps to trade 75, 75s looks like the right move so far this morning, though. And there's that 5-minute bar close. 77.90 quarters. Pullbacks here towards like 86s in NASDAQ should probably get bought a bit. And then we'll kind of, like I said, bounce around here, kind of establish that divergence a little bit later on, about 15, 20 minutes or so. Anybody get filled at 75, 75 in the S&Ps? Nice, Kenny. Good work. Oh, that's still a good trade, Monster. Nadex 20 minutes. It's a pretty good price level for that. I mean, you can play Nadex with these 77, 80s, whatever this divergence trade, if it sets up, obviously, is a good Nadex trade as well. Filled at 76. Nice. Little front run of the level. So let me see what strikes are available. We are coming back down to the 77.80 level there. Just traded it in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ new lows. Nothing else new lows. We're establishing that divergence, I think, a little bit early here. And maybe good for one more attempt at the long side here. Off 77.80s there. Then you can take NASDAQ long here. I'm looking for a strike. On 11 a.m.s. 77.80s. I like it. We'll know here pretty soon if we're going lower or not. That divergence should be pretty solid though. There's no signal on it, which makes me a little less inclined to like it. But I did pick up a little bit of Nadex down there. And working one more. The 77, 78s for the 10 a.m. Got, what, 12 minutes to go. It's a little tight. I do like it, though. And let's see if we can get a nice little pop. $78.50s, those lows there. S&P's cracked to 75.50s there. Russell and Dow, no new lows when the S&Ps and the NASDAQ got those new lows here on this 5-minute bar, though. This is not the divergence trade I was honestly looking for us to set up here. There is no signal in the S&Ps. There is no signal in the NASDAQ there either. That doesn't mean that it won't work. It just means it makes the entries a little bit more difficult. And I got filled on some Nadex for 11 a.m. and might get filled on the other 10 a.m. stuff here. If we can kind of test those 78s again. I really would have preferred a signal down there. Again, we're not quite at 10 o'clock yet. But the S&Ps are holding those 75s pretty well. Nasdaq's small reactions off 7780 so far. That is down 0.86% on the day though. By far leading the pack to the downside here. But if the rest of the markets want to go higher, I don't think the Nasdaq's going to have a choice there. Russell here, nice little pop there. Getting back up towards opening print there. Same thing in the Dow. Those two markets I actually think are showing the most strength down here out of these lows. A Russell and the Dow. S&Ps are on the support level there. So they should be showing some strength as well. And I think we might get one more new low in the Nasdaq here. That'll kind of dictate things for us. If we get a new low in the Nasdaq and then can immediately get back above 7780s, then I think we're fine. If we get new lows in the Nasdaq, retest 7780s and start to sell again, then I think we're going to be in for, like I said, some pretty decent downside action there in the Nasdaq. Russell here pushing towards opening print as Nasdaq is pushing towards lows. Not something we have seen recently. All right, Nasdaq coming down. 7850s are those lows. I kind of want to put an order down there, just see if it'll fill it. Or if I put the order in, then we won't trade it. Is that how that works? I'm going to put an order out here at 78 for a long there, I think. We'll let the market test it, fill me, and then back up through 78.08 quarters. And my thinking is that if I put this order in, that it won't get filled. The market will tease me and not actually fill it. There we go. So Nasdaq new lows there. Nothing else new lows just yet. Yeah, it's not looking like the best action ever. I did get filled on my 77.78s for 10 a.m. at Nadex though. So we got a couple minutes for that. I would expect this bar probably closes north of like 77.82s or so though. 77.83s or so, something like that. Will we pop or will we not? That is the question. $9.58 and change here. About 45 seconds left on this 5-minute bar right before 10 o'clock there. And let's see. About 5 seconds left, as long as we stay above 77.78s. And I think we're good. Yeah, definitely a tight range still. I mean, at least down here on these lows. Not a tight range overall in the day, but sitting on these lows for sure. And we're going to need to see if NASDAQ wants to retest these lows. If not, then we got to get back up through 85 quarters there. So I did pick up a NASDAQ long there from 78s. And then, like I said, picked up those Nadex positions as well. Yeah, I think we should be fine on that position to run. I think most likely if those are, well, we have a good opportunity that those are the lows of the day. We've got Russell actually putting in new highs at the moment. Dow rallying back, just traded those 788s there to the tick. And NASDAQ trying to hold off those 7780s there. I did pick up one contract in the NASDAQ for the 7778s for 10 a.m. I paid 52.5 for that. And that ended up expiring in the money. So I picked up 40 some bucks there on a little one lot for the NASDAQ in Nadex so far. And I've got a 2 lot riding for 7780s for 11 a.m. there. Dow here popped in new highs on the day as well. This NASDAQ action down here is not conducive to anything. Well, like I said, if Russell wants to go higher here, like I said, Russell and Dow were probably the plays down there when they didn't get the new lows. But if those want to go higher here, I think that's going to pull the rest of the markets with it, and we can see NASDAQ back up towards those 78.08 quarters relatively easy. We're down 67 points on the day. That would be about a 20-point move back up. And like I said, we needed to break 85 quarters were those highs. Looks like we just traded 86s there. So as long as we hold lows from now, I think we'll be fine. Anybody take NASDAQ long down there? Or still holding an S&P from 75.75? I think it was good risk reward ratio down there. I liked it. 77.80s, nice. Yeah, I mean, if this actually ends up holding, then we could hold this position all day. Which is kind of my game plan. I mean, there's a first target there, 78.08 quarters in the NASDAQ. But I think if we get through that, then, I mean, we're back to, 7900s tomorrow probably. So realistically, what are overnight highs in there? 78.63s are overnight highs. I think an easy target here for the day would end up being like 78.44s or so. I mean, obviously we'll see. We got to get through 78.08 quarters just yet, but we got a nice move coming out of the Dow there. Like I said, that was probably my preferred play back over 26,788s this morning. Did not take that one for some reason down there when everything was getting new lows except for the NASDAQ and the Russell, except for the Dow and the Russell. Dow's moving nicely here. That is lockstep with the Russell here, only down 0.27% on the day. I think those two actually probably go positive on the day. Would not be surprised to see that. And I think the S&P's got a good shot at getting somewhere close to their overnight highs again as well. Nice, Joe. Took 77.80s in NASDAQ. Yeah, I took that one as well with the 11 a.m.s. That position picked it up for 52 bucks. Current market on that 72. So we picked up about 20 points in that so far. So we're up almost 100 bucks on the day in Nadex so far. Just trading small here. And the futures position that we have on in that account up 250 bucks per contract here. 77.78 was the fill. Dow running nicely. S&P's almost back to opening prints here. Opening prints I think are 81.50s here. Yeah, 81.50 opening print in there. Yeah, I think 40, whatever I had up here, 44 quarters doesn't look too bad. Either that or 22.75. I'm kind of right there with you around the 25s. Nice work, Mike. Dow here is coming to the party today. I don't even know what's left in the Dow anymore. JP Morgan. I don't think Goldman's is, but we're going to look at it anyway. Dow just ripping nicely there. Nasdaq, nice move. This is kind of that 94 level I was talking about in there. S&P is just traded opening print there. So I could see a little stall here in NASDAQ. But nice move out of the Dow so far. And we'll need a little bit of time, I think, to probably work through this little zone here. Opening print in the S&Ps and kind of this 94, 95 level I was talking about in the NASDAQ. $75, 75s. 75.50s are the lows. I don't think so. I mean, that's nice. I mean, those are two nice 5-minute bars to the upside there. right into opening print. I think, like I said, I think it takes a little bit of time to get through that zone. I do think you could sell one of your Nadex, the 7780s, for 11 AMs if you wanted to, in and around this zone. We picked up pretty much half of the move so far. That contract has 48 minutes to go. So I would not be opposed to taking half of that position off there. Russell here, trading places with the Dow now, only down 0.18% there. S&P is right on those 8150s. Like I said, I think it takes a little bit of a minute to get through this. I really want to maybe actually swing this 77-78 position. I took it in Thinkorswim just in case too. Nope, no can do, Mike or Monster. 77-78 was the shot. Actually, I mean, 77-78 to 8,000s. What would that be? 222 points. That's kind of funny. 222 points. I feel like I should go for that. Yeah, I should definitely go for that. How do I feel about RSI and MACD indicators? I don't have any attachments to them. I don't really have any feelings about them. I mean, I think so. For me, like the chart has everything that you need, and the data that's coming from the RSI and the MACD and Bollinger Bands and whatever else is still all coming from the chart. So I don't use them personally. I mean, I know a couple plays that you could definitely benefit from. They kind of use them as a filter. But I mean, I also know some plays that you could use Bollinger Bands for as well. I just don't use them. It's just personal preference, style. Someone actually asked that question through DMs over the weekend, like, let me look up. Oh, so they were asking basically just like in terms of just like making money, and you know, they were asking about coming in the trade room and like copying trades and doing whatever. Well, the problem is you're not always going to get the same entries. You're not always going to get the same exits. You're not always going to be able to hold the same. You're not going to be able to add, subtract, hedge your positions, have multiple accounts. Like there's so many different factors in that it just doesn't make sense. Like you can't compare yourself to somebody else. For example, like Mike this morning, Mike's up, basically $200 this morning. I mean, did he take similar trades? Sure. Did he take them off the 75 support level? Yes, I'm sure. But he made the decision to make those trades, right? So, and when to get out, all that kind of stuff. When to trail up his stops. And you just can't compare yourself to anybody else. Like, try and be better than you were the previous day. Obviously, follow your rules better. And if you need to use an RSI or a MACD and it helps you, then by all means do it. If it doesn't, then, or if you find it doesn't help you, then obviously don't use it. That was pretty simple. But yeah, if it helps you, then use it, I guess would be the long-winded answer to that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, turtle traders are great. Turtle trader is legit. And I mean, there's been days in the room where like Kalen makes money to the long side, I make money to the short side, and vice versa. Like, I'm sure somebody made money to the short side this morning. Obviously, some longs lost some money on the first initial move down. Nasdaq trying to work its way up to those 78.08 quarters there, not able to do so. Nasdaq's only market not to get new highs on the day here. And we can see a decent little 5-minute pullback here. If not, we keep pushing our way higher. We're only, what, 7 points away from 08 quarters here as a target. Nasdaq down 0.63% on the day. Next market closest to that is 0.24%. S&P is the downside. Nice. Good work, Parker. Support levels held pretty well this morning. I mean, S&P is by 1 tick, Nasdaq by like 2 points. Well, I guess technically 2.5. 77.50s, right? Yeah. But I think we're kind of reaching a little bit of a stalling point here. Most likely get a pullback coming in the Nasdaq out of this. Nice, go work. Might be done by 10:30. We are going to get confirmation closes above at this point. We got about 10 minutes to go. Looks like we will get confirmation closes above in the S&Ps and in the Dow. Unfortunately, the Nasdaq is going to be a little bit of a laggard. I don't know, we still got 10 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. We can get 9 points in 9 minutes. Let's go Nasdaq. We'll get a NASDAQ chant going. Those 7780s, those are worth 90, basically 91 quarters now. You can get filled at 91 quarters. I'm out. 7780s for whatever time zone that was, 11 a.m.s in Nadex. I just closed those. I mean, at this point, we've got 38 minutes to go here on the day. We're 20 points off that level. We got the move. There's only like $8 more you can make per contract on those. Like, it's really not even worth it. You could hold out a little bit here to get 7808s to print, but there's not really a point. Well, shaping up to be a pretty decent little day so far. Up about $800 in the NASDAQ or so right here, at least open. None of it closed. And what do we pull, like 100 and change out of Nadex? Those will make for some good examples. I like it. I likes it. Oh, all before I finish the first cup of coffee on the day. Nasdaq traded 04s there. Looks like we are going to get that pullback. S&P is at least trying to get it. Russell trying to get it. Dow trying to get it as well. Nasdaq not wanting to break though. This 5-minute bar is actually holding here. All right. Looks like Nasdaq's going to push up there. It's not wanting to get that pullback, at least at this moment in time. Anyways, so I was working on some core stuff this weekend, and I put this out last week. If anybody's interested, a couple people did kind of take me up on it, so we'll have to get that set up. But if you guys want to do, if you guys feel obliged to do just a quick little testimonial video for me, anything that I've helped you with, or even if you don't have nice words to say, you can still send me your video. And just a little short testimonial to feature kind of on the site about the trade room or analysis, whatever, anything that I've helped you with, would greatly appreciate that. And if you guys do that, then I'm going to set up some times where we'll do one-on-one coaching sessions for an hour. Kaylin's got words. I feel you. But yeah, so a couple people did send those in, and a couple people messaged in some stuff too. So like I said, I'm going to be doing 1-hour coaching sessions with each of you individually that sends those in. So if you guys want to, just DM me about that. And I'm going to close that out kind of this week. But should be fun, and it also gives me a little bit more experience in like what it is that you guys are struggling with when it comes to trading to help with the course as well. So was working on that pretty much all weekend as well. And Nadex crashed. There it goes. All right, so flat Nadex and flat NASDAQ in this account as well. Still have the other position open. So we're looking at $228 closed out in NASDAQ in here. And then I did take a little Dow trade that just kind of trailed there for 63 bucks. I took the position, didn't like the entry, so kind of just jumped back out of it real quick. But anyway, so closed out about 280 and change there in the NASDAQ for that account. And then I still have the other futures position open here at 77.78 in this account, which I think I can detach this. Yeah, there we go. I did get yours, James. Really appreciate that one. So I got this one here. So +1, 77.78. P&L open about 360 bucks on that one there. So nice little mover in there. I meant to respond to you actually, James. Dylan's asking, are pivot points viable for trading bonds like ZB? Yeah, I used to trade ZB and ZN quite a bit actually. What trigger do you use on your charts? Just price. So price above or below a level. Or in the case of like divergence trades where you're looking for the trigger above the signal bar. S&P's pulled back to opening print there. And we got about a minute and change here to go before the first hourly close of the day. I really want to gun for that 8,000 print in NASDAQ off of a 77.78 buy. It'd be good for 222 points, which I think is just kind of cool. But I'll have to manage this position accordingly. If we aren't able to hold these today, and like I said, I'll have to manage it accordingly. But I kind of like the idea of it. It's kind of funny. You hopped in the Dow, but all the other markets were tanking. Not sure if I regret jumping out. Did you get out of your long or what? Dow can pull back to 788s here. I mean, I think being out of it for a first target is probably fine. Pullback's a little deeper so far than I would have thought in the S&Ps and the Russell. $767s. Yeah, that's a good trade. Yeah, if you came out ahead on both Dow and oil, can't complain there. Oil did have a nice little move higher here out of those 57.65s, I believe, are the level. Yeah, nice little push there. Like I said, we were looking up kind of up towards 58.50s. What do we trade? Highs of the day, 58.46s there. So not too bad there in crude. Dow here is back down on 26,788s here. Nasdaq here coming back down towards 77.80s there. And we might actually establish a divergence down here with one of these markets getting new lows on the day. Dow holding up the best, I think. Followed by the Nasdaq, and then probably the Russell, and then the S&Ps. I'm not going to flip short buys here unless we crack in a pretty big way, but like I said, right now it's looking like we might actually do that. We didn't get new highs on the day in the Nasdaq, so we do have that kind of opposing divergence against us here. Russell does have signals in place, as does the Dow. Both of those have triggered and pushing us lower here on a 5-minute chart. If we take a look here at the Russell there, 5-minute chart, you can see there was signals up here. This one did finally, in fact, trigger to the short side there, and it's working. And the Dow here also has a signal in place there, and that's pushing us a little bit lower here. So could be a decent little short trade there if it actually ends up breaking and completes to targets. But again, I don't think that is going to be the case. I have been known to have been wrong before, but I'm sure some people definitely lost some money in this move. Yeah, I mean, I expected a pullback like 81.50s or so in S&Ps. I did not quite expect all the way back down towards lows. Oh, this guy. Would I trade the 29.75.50, or is that level too suspect at this point? So, I mean, if you remember the morning trade plan, second test, third test of this level, I'm not looking for new long opportunities off of these levels here. Just because the more that we test these levels, the weaker they're going to become, and eventually, most likely by the third test, we'll probably crack through. At this point, what I would look for on new long opportunities is moves higher on strength. So as opposed to the market, testing support and not being able to get the movements, I would look for price to actually end up getting above. In this case, for the Nasdaq, for example, I would look for price to get back above 08 quarters before I really want to start looking at new longs again there. As far as the S&Ps, if we do establish a divergence down here, that's a different story. If we crack lows in one of the markets, not in the rest of the markets, then we could look at a divergence play. That's not necessarily a level play, even though the level could in fact be at that same point. But it would have a higher rate of failure at this point. Do these live sessions only occur in the AM? Yeah, Joe. So basically Perry goes on in the morning. So basically for like 3 hours a day, between 8 and 11 o'clock, typically, we'll have voice and audio and visual. Every now and then, well, so far only once, but I did the thing all day, the stream all day, which is probably the most I've ever talked in a single day in the past 8 years. to like other living humans. Actually, in 3 days we'll make 8 years full time as a day trader. Missed all the coffee talk. I'm still sipping on the first cup. Nadex only? No. So I did not know about Nadex in 2011. I don't think they changed their name to Nadex until like 2013, maybe 2014, something like that. But no, initially was trading stocks with Rob Shapiro, the guy that runs the Major League Stocks room. And then, well, I was trading penny stocks before that, and then trading stocks with him, and then rolled that into options, or rolled that into futures, and then have been futures since then. So I would say like 2012, maybe middle of 2012, something like that, is when I first started trading futures. I tried to actually trade them in my Toss account before I even knew that there were permissions. Like I was not permitted for them. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna like try these things out, and then orders got rejected. I'm like, huh, guess I'm not supposed to trade those. Same thing happened the first time I tried to sell options too. It's like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, that was good times, Larry. Where are you at these days? Oh, I forgot to do that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna mute the mic. All right, sorry about that, guys. Had to submit a couple things real quick. Van, do I do any MCT oils? Yeah, MCT oil is amazing. So I do like with my coffees in the morning, not the Dunkin' coffees, but like when I make my coffees, like the little mixture I do with the collagen peptides and um, ghee butter and MCT oils and all that stuff. I throw that in with it. Um, yeah, I love MCT oil. So I like taking MCT oil at night the best though. There's a video that Thomas DeLauer did on it a while back. Basically, it just creates like a thermogenic response, I think is the right word, um, while you're sleeping. And even if you're not keto adapted, even if you're just on a normal whatever diet, it actually still helped burn calories while you were sleeping as well, by taking MCT oil at night. So yeah, I try to, if I don't take it in the morning, with like on the weekends is typically when I make my kind of drinks up. Um, but in the evenings I'll do, or is when I make my coffee stuff. But in the evenings I'll do like a heavy whipping cream, almond milk, cinnamon. I like a little banana extract flavoring, and then some MCT oil in that. I mean two to three tablespoons. Yeah, I used to do it back to back. I try to only do like two, maybe three tablespoons a day. Yeah, so like 20% heavy whipping cream in a cup. Um, and then I throw some cinnamon on top of that, and then some banana extract. You can use vanilla, strawberry, whatever. And then the rest of the 80% almond milk. And you can either like stir it up with a straw, or I have like the little NutriBullet thing or whatever it's called. Um, blend it up real well, and then throw some ice in it, and then that's like a nice little nightcap kind of drink. Oh, and I say MCT oil, yeah, it really is. And like if you like, I mean, so you can, I mean, Emily really likes it just because she likes the. I use her. She doesn't like banana, but I do the vanilla. It's kind of like those cinnamon, not macchiato things, but whatever they are, kind of like a cinnamon frappe drink type thing. Um, so yeah, we pretty much have one of those every night. I've messed with it and put like some strawberries in it too, like real strawberries, and blended it up. But the simpler the better, I think, has been kind of the what I found. We did we did put a contract on a house this weekend, so let's see. We got a closing today on one, and then put a contract on another one this weekend. So we'll see. I really like that one though. I was actually part of the plans for the new place is to do some more kind of like either not necessarily cooking videos, but some more like health type stuff. The kitchen's pretty sick. I'll show you guys. I don't know if it fits on that screen, but try it. So that's the outside, like obviously we're not going to keep the red, whatever these things are called, bar stools. But that's the kitchen. Yeah, price action is definitely ugly. There's no question about it. I mean, when Nasdaq just rallied back almost to that pivot high, nothing else got anywhere close to that. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna do just like some like easy videos for some of that stuff. I'm gonna include some of it in the pro course as well, actually. Just like some simple little drinks and substitutes and whatnot. Yeah, the kitchen is pretty sick. I want to do a couple things to it. The backsplash and stuff isn't done, but so I'll do some videos for YouTube, and then um, I'm gonna do some videos in the pro course as well. Yeah, it was really weird when we went to look at that place, though. The lady that lives there, um, like I I don't even know. It's weird. But like walk through the place, there's not a single picture, not a single piece of artwork on the walls, like nothing on top of the dresser, like not a picture of that lady or any family members at all in the entire place. And she left all the tags on the furniture. It was, and she's lived there for like 3 years. didn't take didn't take tags off a single piece of furniture and didn't decorate at all. The the new house that we just put a contract on. Yeah, we put a contract on it over the weekend. I go to closing on one property today, and then we put a contract on another one over the weekend. I just popped the kitchen up on the stream. Oh, it's right by me. It's still right here. It's like so between my house. So where I live at now, my house. If you shut up, Alexa. That's creepy. You go like a couple minutes, and then you get to the office, and then if you keep going a couple minutes past that, you'll end up at the new house. There you go. That's the kitchen. So yeah, it's not even 10 minutes from where I'm at now. I was thinking about it. I don't know. We needed a little bit more room with the baby and stuff like that, and we just kind of waited on upgrading. Like there was just no, I mean, for what, like 2014, 15, and 16, prior to the baby, I think we were gone like an average of almost 7 months each year from the house. So it was kind of like, and by the time we did the road trips in Thailand and the cruises, and we're not there like on weekends, and we went to Nebraska for a few months. Like it was just not even. It didn't make sense. So that was kind of the new game plan for moving to this place. Is what I really want to do is. So we'll see. I mean, we have a signed contract, obviously contingent upon stuff, but I don't see that being any issues. So what I really want to do is get moved in there, kind of get through like his first birthday coming up in September, and then start maybe doing Airbnbs for like a month in a different state. And so I was looking at a couple, like I thought about maybe going to like Alaska first and just drive all the way out to Alaska, do some Airbnbs for a month in like each location of Alaska, and then work our way back from Alaska and just pick spots along the way for like a year or two. I think it'd be super fun and would be really good for the baby. And the reason I'm thinking that is just gives me enough time to get all the courses and stuff done that I need, and then realistically I only have to trade in the mornings and the daily videos and stuff like that, as opposed to trying to hunker down and build courses every weekend. Yeah. Oh, the baby's crawling. Yeah, baby's on the move. Russell actually getting new lows right here. He can actually pick himself up now. Like if he has something to hold on to, he can stand up. He gets really frustrated if you try and set him down. He wants to just stand and be on the go. So I would say probably like inside of this month, he's going to be walking. And he's 9 months, nine and a half months now, but I think he'll be walking in the next month or so. Yeah, I taught him how to I taught him how to get off the bed and like get off the couch and stuff like that. So he kind of, it's so hilarious. So like he'll turn around and then just like dig in the couch and like slowly let his feet start to come off, and then kind of like bend at the waist, and then he'll just hang on and slowly let himself drop until he hits the floor and then just stand there. And then he gets mad because he wants you to pick him back up and put him back on the couch so he can do it again. I must have done it like 20 times the other day. Take a look at Amazon here. Yeah, Amazon actually nicely green. I have that 2000 call or 2000 butterfly in Amazon, so I'm not gonna be mad if Amazon rallies at all. But yeah, I like that. It's a good looking 15-minute chart. If we can base for any length of time in there, that probably breaks out. Russell got new lows. No signals in there yet, but nothing else got new lows down there. Russell's going to make a liar out of me and come down and trade those 65.40 support levels. All right. 11 o'clock. If you held those 77.80s, those would have worked out. Pretty much here we got a minute left to go before those 11 o'clocks were 17 points above. So I think those positions will be fine. Again, I closed them out earlier when we were trading up close to 7,800s. So closed them out for like 92, I think was my fill, 92 and a quarter. Let me see, 91 and a quarter, sorry. So yeah, I mean, there was like another $9 to make in that, and we would have had to wait, the extra 38 minutes or so, and the risk reward just wasn't there, I didn't think. So went ahead and called that one. But anyways, guys, 11 o'clock here. Decent morning so far. I mean, we kind of were patient here this morning. So I'll review today's trade idea here. So in the Nasdaq specifically, looked at some longs this morning here. Off this 78.08 quarters. Those ended up stopping out there. Ended up pushing through a little bit further than I would have expected there. Pushed us all the way down into 77.80s here for the next level 2 trade. We were able to step in with some Nadex positions in there for the 77.78s for 10 a.m. and the 77.80s for 11 a.m. Both of those positions ended up working out nicely there. And then also picked up 77.78s in the Nasdaq for a long in the swing account here. So that position, as you can see, is up right at about 475 bucks here. So held this from the lows up to here, took the pullback. This position was only up like 6 points or so. And then now, again, still holding it. It's back up 470 bucks here on the day. So going to continue to manage and hold that position. Like I said, I want to go for an 8,000 print in there. It would be kind of cool. 222 as a target on that trade. So going to look to do that. Otherwise here, S&P's held off of 75, 29, 75, 75. Pretty nicely here. Charts are not liking me changing them at the moment. There we go. So yeah, we held off 75, 75s pretty nicely there. One tick push through, and then rallied up nicely. Traded a high of 84.75s here so far on the day. Again, my bias is still to the long side here. If we do start to crack these support levels later on in the day, then that would be obviously some reason for concern there, and that these markets could get a pullback here. But at the moment, I'm just going to hold that swing trade there for the Nasdaq. Most likely going to end up putting kind of some stop losses in under that 84.50 level that had traded here right about 10:30 there when we got this pullback. Nasdaq most likely going to move with Amazon, which is moving nicely today. We do still have that 2,000 butterfly on in there. That's a $20 wide butterfly. It's got 11 days to go till expiration. That position is currently up in Amazon here. I think open P&L on that's like 500 bucks. Yeah, here we go. So current open P&L in Amazon there, $462.50. We've been sitting on this one for a while. I don't actually remember when we got this one. I want to say it had like, there we go, 610. So we've been sitting on this position almost a month. And P&L open, like I said, 500 bucks there now. Amazon getting a nice little move. So that's all I have on. I have the Boeing position on, and not BNA, BA. There we go. Boeing position here down like 200 bucks. This one still has 11 days to go. Needed above 360s. So got a little bit of work to do there in Boeing. Boeing has been an interesting one this year. But anyways, those are the only things I have on here at the moment. So P&L on the day at the moment in the swing account is 522 bucks. In the day trading account, up a little over 291, 228 in Nasdaq at 63 bucks and 20 cents out of the Dow. So decent little morning in there, can't complain. And gonna look to continue to ride this out. So I'm going to be filming all this week. Got to go get a haircut, do all that kind of stuff, and take care of some other things. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out. Let me know how you guys did this morning. If you have profits, as always, post those in the profits chat. I want to make sure you guys are doing well. And any feedback you have, obviously, feel free to DM me that as well. So good little start to the week here so far. About 800 bucks on the day. And again, the swing position's not obviously closed out there, but like I said, no complaints to the start of this week so far. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning, and Yes, no signal off the Russell there, unfortunately, on those new lows. I would have preferred to have seen that there, but it did not, in fact, do so. But that's what I got for you guys. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care and trade safe the rest of the day.